Hello, friends. Before starting the lessons, it is necessary to know some basic principles. I will talk about them. You may or may not know these basic principles, but I still want to explain them because following these basic principles will prevent you from encountering problems later on. One of them is the group component issue. Those who use SketchUp always know. When you select a wall or a floor, making it a group component allows you to easily and work dynamically and without any issues when you transfer it to TV Motion or other render engines, friends. Now, there is a situation regarding the group and component issue. Normally, before you move on to a bedroom, when we draw the floor and walls, friends, I want to show it through a small model. For example, we have a model like this. Let's say I made the wall thickness 20 centimeters or 10 centimeters using the offset command on this model. Let these be the walls of the bedroom. I will also touch on these when drawing the project, but addressing these at the very beginning ensures our healthy progress and prevents you from getting stuck in future projects. Friends, for example, I made the wall height 3 meters upwards, friends. Now, while drawing, here I need to turn this into a mat group to prevent other elements I've drawn from sticking to this. Or you can also turn the inside part into a mat group by double-clicking. When you start working this way, and when you select the entire object and say, let's go, only the ground will remain, and you will have the opportunity to work comfortably with the other objects in this way. Or from a part of the company, when you say, let's go to your Resolve model, friends, you double-click here or enter this. Look, you entered the ground. Since the ground is a group, there is a system like this because we said to hide the other objects outside the group. Look, this way you can work very comfortably. Friends, you now select this and say mat group. Friends, look, I entered here. Look, the ground is gone. I made a group within this. Now, the first part is actually important. And in the second part, friends, definitely. When you enter this group object, if there are no different colors on the walls of this group object, you need to color all of it with the render engine while applying it. Friends, for example, you came to the coating section. You need to give any color from the color section here. Friends, let's say I took a color from here. I'm applying all the colors to the wall. Let this part be behind the TV. I will use a different color behind the TV. What do I need to do this time? I need to apply this. Why am I doing this? Friends, while doing this, render engines work sensitively to color. When you send these parts as white, meaning when you send this part as white, the coating you applied here also comes into play. Because if this part is white, it perceives other areas as white as well. That's why, for the part you entered, for example, we will make a park. In TV, motion. That's why, for example, I apply this color here. I exit, as you can see, what happened. If I apply a coating to this color, all colors belonging to these shades will have the same coating. I can also apply a different coating to this color. So what have I done? Actually, I have developed a color-sensitive working system here. Friends, that's why this part is important. In the next section, there are some practical plugins we will use when modeling doors and windows. I will show them in the lesson, but by doing these beforehand, we can further increase our efficiency. Friends, in this first part, if we summarize briefly, it's our group and complete work. Secondly, we definitely need to make the products we will send colorful, color or texture. But my advice to you is you should not use the coatings here because the coatings here are not very high quality, friends. For example, if you want to use a concrete coating here, don't use this because there's no point in using it since the render engine has much more detailed options. But you can do something like this randomly on the walls again. For example, you can apply these. You apply these only to specify color, to specify texture. Later, when you go to Team Motion and click here with the eyedropper tool, we can change this coating. Friends, it has such a feature. Don't just dismiss it as interior, because we need to make these preparations before moving on to the interior. Friends, that's why it's an important part, important criteria before moving on to the interior. Our lesson is like this.